Manchester United have sold way too many youth academy players recently, so I've decided to bring them all back to Old Trafford. However, I have also made a stand with their current players and I've released any player that didn't come through the youth team. And from now on, I'm going to become the Manchester United manager and I'm only going to use players from the academy. So with the side looking rather trim to begin with, it's now my job to develop the young players coming through the academy as we attempt to make Manchester United champions of Europe once again. Yes, this is going to be a youth-only challenge. Now, I've made myself unsackable using the in-game editor because, of course, the expectations of the Manchester United board probably going to far exceed where we are going to end up with this team, which, to be honest, isn't that bad. We've got the likes of James Garner back. We've got Alvaro Carreras at left-back back. Kobbie Mainoo's going to be in the first team for a change. We've even bought Scott McTominay back, who, let's face it, is absolutely phenomenal on this game. So we're going to be using him as a key figure for as long as we possibly can. He's 28 years old. However, this challenge does not end until we have fully got a youth academy players, where a lot of these have obviously gone and we got a lot of new players come through, and we're lifting the Champions League. So who knows how long that might take. And to kick things off, we of course have an opening fixture against Arsenal in the Premier League, with us set up in our offset 4-2-3-1 in possession, and it could go either way. And to maybe a bit of a shock, we came out scoring within the first minute of the match and continued to dominate, actually winning the fixture 3-1. We know this is the first season and it's just a taste of what we can do though. We aren't too worried or concerned about performances and trophies. It's really about developing the players that we want for the long run as key figures in the squad, while identifying players that could really be useful in our team as squad builders. Having players such as Angel Gomez back, for instance, as well as Hannibal, will really help our squad depth until more players come through the youth intakes. But having players that start in the first team for the first few seasons like Garnacho, Rashford and Alanga will be crucial as well for the early years. Because what these guys have is the experience to pass on to our younger talents coming through using the mentoring groups in the training department. Even still, this first season shocked me as Manchester United finished in 4th place without the likes of Bruno and Burmo and Cunha. Rashford enjoyed being a United shirt again, scoring 34 goals all season, and the likes of Garnacho, McTominay and Alanga all chipped in, having great seasons too. Mainoo played 50 times and developed into a star player for the team as well. And everyone in season 1 was talking about young JJ Gabriel, who in the last couple of months into the season burst onto the scene and contributed well off the bench, getting some silky assists and playing well. This season also included a trophy as we beat Liverpool in the Carabao Cup 2-1. But of course, these early years, we're not too worried about any trophies. What we are concerned with is the youth intakes, and are we bringing in enough players to eventually get into our first team? So in our under 18s, we've got a lot of players that were either already here or come through the most recent youth intake, with the likes of like Colin Lloyd, for example, who is classed as a 5-star potential, looks quite good as a centre midfielder. We've also got Kai Rooney, of course, who's a real-life player, Wayne Rooney's son, who is just turning 16 years of age, plays from the right-hand side. Eventually, he could take Alanga's spot. JJ Gabriel, of course, is a man that's already started in our first team, but has been really ripping it up for Manchester United in real life, and I'm excited to see what he can do on this because he looks absolutely phenomenal already, and he's still only 15 years of age. But as you can see, if we're looking at just 5-star potential alone, there's a lot of players that could come through and could make a very big difference in Manchester United's future. I also just realised that Chido Obi-Martin is not in the team, and I can't find him. I don't know where he is, and I'm not going to start again. So we're going to have to do this without one of the best up-and-coming strikers in the world in Chido Obi-Martin. The following season, seeing another masterclass from Marcus Rashford as Manchester United's top scorer for the campaign, and JJ Gabriel picked up more and more matches and even scored a fair amount of goals too for the first team. But another player in Amir Ibrahimov began making appearances in the back end of the year off the bench and even got an assist in the quarter-finals of the Champions League against Inter. It was another consistent season, sat in the top 3 of the Premier League, reaching the quarterfinals of the Champions League where we did lose to Inter Milan. While Rashford scoring the goals again and Hannibal and Garnacho are having great seasons. The MVP for me this season has been James Garner because we've had to put him at right back because we just don't have any good right backs in there. And he's been fantastic. He's been really good. I mean, 2 goals, 1 assist, but the average rating's been fantastic. And we're playing him in a role which maybe he's a little less familiar with, playmaking wingback, which is the reason why he's not getting that many assists. So when we are sort of with the ball, as you can see here in this phase, he sits in that centre midfield spot a little bit more narrow than what he usually would. McTominay is in there as well as the deep line playmaker of Kobbie Mainoo, and even if you're looking a little bit further, he sort of acts as like a centre midfielder there with the ball, which of course is what he's used to. It's just without the ball, when things change, he sits back into his position, into his fullback position, and that's when we become sort of a solid back four again. And that's, again, he's something that he's really good at. James Garner is a fantastic player and one that Manchester United should never have let go of, really. What we could really do with is another right back coming through the youth academy, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it's going to be that way. Again, if we're sorting out by potential players that are coming through, we've got a good left back by the looks of it. He's 2-star already with 4.5-star potential. Alfie Smart, he looks very good. Looks like he could be a first-team player in the future, although Alvaro Carreras is very young still, so we might not have to worry about that position for now, but we could still use him there. Alex Bergin is a right back. He doesn't look too bad, actually. He is one that we could definitely... He's left-footed. He's definitely one that we could keep an eye on, though, potentially. And if we can develop and grow him, then that might be another option. But there's not a lot of players who have come through this youth intake who I think will step up and be in the first team. We're just really looking at the ones that we already had, I think, in terms of players that might get promoted into the first team this year. Because, again, if we're going by age, there are a few players who will be leaving. I mean, poor Pogba, he's actually retiring. He didn't play a single game this season. It's a shame, poor Pogba. I think he would have if we had played a bit more of an attacking midfielder, attacking centre midfielder, but he just hasn't really featured. He played 3 times last season. It's a shame. It's another spell at Manchester United for poor Pogba. It just didn't really pay off. But if we're looking at the youngsters who did come through and did play, if we're just going to take away all of that and the senior appearances for the young players here, we've got quite a lot. Ngwashi has played quite a few games. He's a centre back that maybe might turn out to be a first teamer. Looks like he's got a good potential, to be honest, but yeah, I think his potential rating is sort of one of the ones where it could be high or really low, like 150 to 180. Ibrahimov does look like he could be a fantastic prospect for us. Aiden Heaven's growing quite well as a player and been playing basically every single Premier League game. We've even got the likes of Tyler Fredrickson playing 47 games. I don't think Tyler Fredrickson's going to turn into a well-beaten centre-back like an Manjovic of the past, but he's doing a job for us right now. He's not doing too bad either. This United team certainly shocked me with how well they seem to cope without the bigger names currently at the club and coping with all the names that the academy has brought back. But in Season 3, the likes of Ibrahimov and JJ Gabriel stepped up with more minutes on the field and definitely fitted in nicely into the rotation. Despite getting into the Champions League semi-final, a drop-off was expected eventually though. And this Manchester United side dropped down into 10th place in the Premier League, finishing the 27-28 season. There were certainly positives though, as JJ Gabriel played way more, scoring 8 goals and getting 3 assists, and just overall looking a fantastic player. Ibrahimov played even more than JJ Gabriel and was a solid rotational option for us, scoring 9 goals in 21 starts and 16 appearances off the bench. However, despite me playing him over 60 matches, I was disappointed to see Ngwashi was just not developing, and that could be down to his balanced personality. You see, in case you're unaware, the personality of a player determines how well that they can develop through playtime and training, etc. It's not the be-all and end-all, but it's a massive point of it, and a professional personality or a model citizen, perfectionist, something which lends itself to having high professionalism in the game, will mean that a player will tend to develop a lot better than ones without. For instance, a balanced personality doesn't exactly give everything away. It possibly suggests that he could have high personalities a high percentage of professionalism, but it also could suggest that that side of his game or his personality is low and other things might be higher, which of course balances it out. If I had to guess, Jaden has low professionalism, which is the reason why after 60 games, he's barely developed at all at age of 19. JJ Gabriel, however, who also has a balanced personality, seems to be getting better and better every single year, which again suggests that his professionalism might be kind of high. Either way, another decent youth intake of players this year to add to our youth academy, where there is a lot of players now who at 16 or 17 could be looking at picking up minutes next season, which is exactly what happened for Kai Langford in season number 4, going into the year looking rather promising and playing 19 games of football. It was another transitional season as Manchester United ended badly, but still managed to creep back up the league table and into Champions League spots. The season started really well, but the form didn't last forever, and the drop-off going into March onwards was devastating for any trophy hopes. And on the final day of the season, we even dropped down into 5th place, which could be in Europa League football next year. It was an amazing season for Alvaro Carreras, who picked up 19 assists and played really well at left wing-back. But the youngsters, JJ Gabriel and Ibrahimov, didn't take advantage of their chances this season, and their minutes were limited despite growing as players. There were a couple of players who really developed well in the under-18s this year and deserved a chance next year in the first team. And season 5 was a chance to do just that, and JJ Gabriel started the season in extraordinary fashion, taking his chances. Kai Langford also stepped up as our first choice right-sided centre-back aged 20. And although nobody new really stepped up just yet, the ones that had already broken into the first team this year really took their chances and asked the question as to whether they should be starting every game. JJ Gabriel finished the season with 18 goals and 17 assists, and his attributes look incredible for an attacking midfielder or striker. Ibrahimov ended the season making that attacking midfield spot his, with 11 goals and 10 assists, and again, great development from the player. There were no trophies this season, but overall in season 5 it was a positive one as we crept back into the top 3 of the Premier League on the same points as Liverpool in 2nd place. And there's a few players in here that I'm going to look to either loan out or give them minutes this season in the first team. Kai Rooney being one of them. I mean, he's 20 years of age now. He needs first team. The trouble is, we've got like a Langer and everybody who's still a lot better because he hasn't really developed, to be honest. Andre Campos is a new one. He has just come from the youth academy, and I'm very intrigued to see how he does. He's only 15. He looks quite good, to be honest. Fairly determined personality. But this one is the special one in my eyes. Brian Inyonyi, 19 years of age. He just keeps getting better and better every single season that I look at him. All right, he can't jump, but the rest of him looks really good as a centre defensive midfielder. Great passing and technique, very good on the ball. There's a couple of others. Colin Lloyd potentially could be one. We mentioned him in like the first or second season. And Regan King-Phillips, again, a 2-star with a 5-star potential. Looks to be a really good centre midfielder. We're just not ready yet to put centre midfielders in there. We've still got Kobbie Mainoo there, who's we want to keep in the first team for as long as possible. He is our future. That we need like players in other positions really to step up. Mainly defenders. No shock, we need defenders. Left back, right backs, centre backs. A goalkeeper would be amazing. We still have in our first team from the very beginning Dean Henderson. He's 33 now. Don't know how much longer we're going to leave with Dean Henderson. He's also not amazing. We could really do with like a world-class goalkeeper coming through the youth academy anytime soon. Season 6 was when I took a risk and played both Kai Rooney and Brian Inyonyi. Even if it meant we dropped off in competitions for now, we needed a couple of more youngsters to achieve first-team football. However, the standout this season was JJ Gabriel, who finished as the top scorer for the campaign with 21 goals and 11 assists. Fortunately, the lads were no match for PSG this season in the quarter-finals of the Champions League. And with no cup wins either, it meant that European football next season wasn't going to happen, as we crashed down in 10th place in the Premier League. There was some growth in Kai Rooney, but I was hoping for a lot more, and he has only accumulated 9 goals and 7 assists in 56 games. However, we definitely could have a star on our hands with Inyonyi, who cemented his space as our deep line playmaker alongside Kobbie Mainoo this season. With the likes of Garnacho still around and Hannibal picking up a lot of minutes, we need to develop more stars as players like Marcus Rashford are on the way out. I have high hopes for players like Andre Campos and Scott Goldberg, who look promising but still lack something special right now. What we do have though is a 17-year-old goalkeeper with high potential. He may not look great right now, but it's worth keeping an eye on. Season 7 was a weird season though. Stats wise, our numbers for goals and assists dropped off massively, with JJ Gabriel being the only player to score more than 10 goals throughout the whole season. Brian Inyonyi became a world-class playmaker though in this season, picking up multiple assists. And the development was there for everybody to see. He is now one of our best players and definitely our best midfielder. With similar levels of greatness to JJ Gabriel, who again looks amazing for a 21-year-old. But why this was a strange season was because we somehow finished in second place in the Premier League. Kai Langford continued to start most games at centre-back, and Regan King-Phillips as well as Colin Lloyd also featured quite a few times as substitutes this season. But who in Season 8 will step up and make the jump into the first team from the Youth Academy? Because it feels like we really need a few players, multiple players to step up, because right now in our first team, Scott McTominay's 35, Dean Henderson's close, I think James Garner's just gone into his 30s now, and we don't have anybody who look like an obvious replacement for all of these positions just yet. And yet we still have many players on the bench who are nowhere near as good. Year 8 was also the last chance I was going to give Kai Rooney before trying another young attacking midfielder from the right. But this turned out to be the season that he stepped up, scoring 11 goals and getting 15 assists. He even scored in the FA Cup final in a 1-0 win over Stoke City, and that's the first trophy we have won in a very long time. JJ Gabriel put in a record amount of goals that we have seen for a long time too, scoring 30 in all competitions. But maybe a sign of things to come, as on the last day of the season, making his first start, 20-year-old Tyler Wakeman scored, chipping the goalkeeper, a player who looks rather good from the under-18s. It was unfortunately another drop-off in the league season though, down into 7th place, while reaching the semi-final of the Champions League, losing to PSG again, 8-3 on aggregate. There's no doubt that JJ Gabriel is our star man for the next 10 years, potentially with Ibrahimov alongside him in an attacking position, and Nyoni as that centre midfield playmaker that will be pulling the strings. I should mention as well, JJ Gabriel got the top scorer of the league. He won the Golden Boot with only 20 goals, but it's still good enough. I think he is definitely sort of our future star. Well, he already is our star, but he is sort of like our star for the next 10 years. He's got low natural fitness, so I can't see him going past like 33, I guess, but coming through, there are a few decent players, just none that's like really standing out. Andre Campos is obviously one that we've got great potential, but doesn't look amazing in his base attributes at age 18. Shea Sargent's just come through the youth team, so we'll keep an eye on him for future because he's another defender. Scott Goldberg just hasn't really developed into something yet, although we haven't really given him the game time yet, so maybe. James Kearney's one that I'm sort of intrigued with because he has a base set of attributes that I'm quite impressed with, but he is 20. I'd rather him be like 18 and look like this. But the physical attributes are definitely there. Resilient personality, and he's left-footed. The trouble is that we've got Carreras and Aidan Heaven, who are sort of taking those positions in front of him. He has already got 10 caps for Ireland though. It might be the case that we try to loan players like this out because he is wanted by a lot of clubs who want to loan him. Season 9, we did indeed loan out a lot of these young players, which is something I admit I should have been doing a lot sooner, as the first team football that they had there's a great effect on their development. This year was a standout season for Kai Rooney though, who put in a world-class amount of numbers, scoring 27 goals and achieved 22 assists, finally stepping up and deserving his place in the starting 11. There were lots of great performers this season alongside Rooney, but my concern is the age of this first team. The youngest player is still JJ Gabriel at 23, with the oldest being 37. In the youth team, there were two players who helped out the first team, but one was also 23, and the other was Rafa Cortez, who isn't exactly amazing, doesn't have great potential, and a bad personality too. So my concern is that we need to get some of these youngsters into the first team potentially within the next couple of seasons. Tyler Wakeman could be one. I mean, he looks quite good, to be fair. There's some weaknesses in there, isn't there, for a 21-year-old? But there's not a lot of like real standout players that it makes sense to put them in really soon. Andre Campos could be one of them, but on the left-hand side, we've got a lot of good players. He could be one to put in and take a gamble with. If we're looking at ones that make sense to go in, definitely it's Alistair Clark, who has a great potential, professional personality. I'm pretty sure that's changed since. 20 years of age now. He looks quite good. So I think maybe with Dean Henderson being 37, it's time to make that call. There's other players like Christoforu, who might be quite a good right back to put in. I mean, his current and potential ability isn't bad either. So again, there are options, just none that's like this is an obvious choice. No trophies were won in this season, and we also finished third in the league behind West Ham and Liverpool. The following season, we did introduce more players and gave more first-team minutes, such as Taylor Wakeham, but also the likes of Roque Mabando, who scored in his only first-team start. But in total, Wakeham bagged himself 11 goals and 6 assists, rounding out season 10. Although we didn't progress in the league table, finishing third again, we did get a trip to Wembley in the FA Cup final, where Kai Rooney bagged himself a hat-trick with 2 assists from Aidan Heaven of all people to secure a 5-0 win over Everton and added another trophy to our cabinet. A great win to round out our nice little season. We can't seem to challenge for anything else just yet though. In terms of the other competitions, we got to the quarter-final of the Champions League, which isn't too bad. Juventus eventually knocked us out 2-1 on aggregates, or 3-1, sorry, on aggregates. So we didn't really compete there, but we had a good run in the Premier League and eventually obviously beat Liverpool on the final day, but still finished 5 points behind. So it's not too bad. We are really looking though at this sort of like transformation phase right now. I'm trying to give other players as many games as possible. Alistair Clark was one of them. We mentioned potentially giving him more game time. He played as many as possible. He got 28 appearances in the league, 37 in total, and I definitely think we were beneficial for that. He has definitely grown and developed quite nicely. The other one that I took a gamble with is Shea Sargent. So this guy, I didn't really mention him that much, but he is right-footed, but he can also play left-back, and I thought that was a bit strange, so I just kept him at centre-back, right-sided centre-back. He's only 18 years of age, light-hearted personality, but I like his mental attributes for somebody this young. We obviously had Kai Langford, who I like the look of. It just worries me that like he's got no first touch or heading ability or passing, but his physicals are great. Physicals are absolutely fantastic, and he's 4-star within our team. He does obviously come across as a very good centre-back if you're looking at that. A lot of appearances still for a lot of youngsters. Regan King-Phillips was one of them, who hasn't really stepped up yet. Don't think he's going to be in the, I say he's youngster, he's 25 now as well. But James Kearney was another one. He got 16 appearances, 22 years of age, played a lot at left-back, can play left-sided centre-back, but just can't jump, so he's probably best suited for that left-back position. Because on the outs now, if we're looking at it in terms of players who are getting a little bit older, Carreras is still our number 1 left-back and probably still our best player, but he's 32. We've got Scott McTominay, who still is going at age 38. Still looks quite good too. And we've got James Garner, who is still playing 40-odd games a season at right-back and centre-back. So we need to find the replacements for those guys. In terms of goals, 25 from Kai Rooney, top scorer once again. The following season, season 11, was a big year with big performances from regulars such as JJ Gabriel, but also for the new guys. Taylor Wakeham with a breakthrough season, starting 31 games, scoring 26 goals, as well as Kai Rooney, who dropped off from his stats this year. In the competitions though, it was another quarter-final exit to Juventus in the Champions League, and a bad 5-1 loss in the FA Cup, which hurt. But guess what softens the blow? The league title win for the first time in 23 seasons for Manchester United, all with academy players. A monumental season for the club. Buzzing with that, beating Manchester City to the title by 2 points as well. Can't go wrong. Just unfortunate about the cup final. That was a bad one. But still, the club's done well. We've got the Premier League trophy. We gave more minutes to the likes of Shea Sargent. I think that's helped. The goalkeeper playing more games, Alistair Clark, that's definitely helped. He's got really good now, so I'm happy with that. And there are some standout performances. Taylor Wakeham, brilliant this year, absolutely fantastic. I thought we maybe had missed the boat with him, but he has definitely developed into a first-team player. It's a shame he doesn't have that max potential. He's probably roughly about a 160 potential ability player, I'd imagine, with the 3.5 star, and only obviously still scoring 26 goals. You can't really go wrong with that. There's a lot of people who have played quite a few games. Trevor Scott's come in. We've mentioned Trevor Scott before. He's now come in and done quite well. Brian Nyonyi is still one of our best players. Look how good he is now, age 25. But yeah, you're going to start to see a lot of new names in and around here. James Kearney's played more games. That's lovely. Macaulay Beta, that's the one I wanted to see. 5 appearances off the bench. I bumped him up from the youth academy because I thought he could be a real good asset for us next season. Might give him a loan spell. because he is wanted as well. I've got him playing for the under-21s, but he is wanted. He could maybe get a good loan spell, and that will be good for a good attacking midfielder, because he looks phenomenal at a young age. Only 18, high value and potential, and he has professional personality, so Macaulay Beta could be a good one. Ashley Schwartz as well is another one who is a right back that might get some game time too. We'll see. Season 12 and into 2037 as we tried to win back-to-back league titles, and unfortunately this is where it all went wrong. Outside of a Carabao Cup final from a penalty shootout, it was a quarter-final exit in the Champions League to Liverpool and a tragic finish of 5th in the league, meaning we aren't even in the Champions League next season. Season 13 was slightly better as we finished in 2nd place, but Liverpool were 10 points clear as champions. But across those 2 seasons, there were lots of improvements, including James Kearney, who made left-back his own and developed nicely, and a loan spell from Macaulay Beatty to Hull has done wonders for his development too. Lined up, I already have a couple of players who are loaned out who could be absolute studs, including Shea Darkwa, but the one I'm most intrigued with is Hakan Tiryaki, who's 18 and grown massively well on loan in the Championship. Liverpool are frustrating us though, as in season 13 they knocked us out of the semi-final of the Champions League this time round, and they pipped us to the league title by a single point in the Premier League. We did, however, batter Aston Villa in the FA Cup final 4-0, with Trevor Scott scoring 2 goals to cement a standout performance from the right-hand side. The young lad actually scored 19 goals and got 14 assists. He has got a bit of a breakout year. He's 23 now, so he should be doing that, but he has definitely stepped up and kind of taken Kai Rooney's spot on that right wing, although Kai Rooney has played quite a lot from the bench. 36 appearances, starting, 21 off the bench, still done quite well. He's 29 now. We're at the point where Kai Rooney is 29, JJ Gabriel is 28, and Ibrahimov is 31. He was the top scorer this season too, with 24 goals and 16 assists. In terms of who is breaking into the first team, Macaulay Beta, we mentioned his loan spell a couple of seasons ago. That attacking midfield spot, I think, will be his. I think that's the position that we need to be looking at and going, that's Macaulay Beta's spot. Because if he does keep on getting better and live up to that 5-star potential, then that is a game changer for us. Kind of like Brian Nyonyi. Brian Nyonyi has come in and he's cemented that spot now for the last 10 years, and we haven't had to worry about it. Alongside Kobbie Mainoo's still there. He's 34. We still need somebody to step up into that. But we haven't had to worry about Brian Nyonyi's position at all. Taylor Wakeman, come off a little bit in terms of statistics. Attribute-wise, looks great. Statistics, it's dropped off ever so slightly. Garnacho's on the way out. He's retiring now, so that's kind of where we're at with there. And Carreras, 36 years of age, still looking to keep going, and he's still playing 58 games this year. He's like Ryan Giggs for us. Kai Langford's still around, so that's quite surprising. Aidan Heaven as well. But the likes of Shea Sargent, James Kearney, they are both now first-team players in here, as well as Ashley Schwartz, who has locked down that right-back position since James Garner retired a couple of seasons ago. The following season was season 15, and we gave another loan spell to Tiryaki, who's now 20 and needed the first-team minutes. But 3 players in the first team who stood out this season was Roque Mabando, who played a lot instead of Kobbie Mainoo, as well as Beta, who we highlighted last year, as he played more from the number 10 spot. And it was a comeback season for Taylor Wakeham, who finished the season as top scorer. It was a bad season for us overall though, as PSG eliminated us from the round of 16 of the Champions League, and in the Premier League we failed to take advantage of Liverpool's drop-off and allowed Spurs to pinch the title on goal difference. It's the final season though of Alvaro Carreras, who is decided to retire, but you will notice underneath him we've got Imran Minton, a 16-year-old who definitely looks like a quality player that we need to be introducing. I've got him playing for the under-18s, but I've also got him in the first team because he's actually making first-team appearances. He's 6'5", looks really good. Light-hearted personality. Don't know whether that's going to be a good sign or not. Roque Mabando played 44 games this year, and it definitely benefited. He's 23 years of age now. Still got a bit to go in terms of the potential. But the personality of perfectionist, I am loving, and he's putting in the performances as well. He got 9 Premier League goals from centre midfield, which I think is amazing because Kobbie Mainoo, although he hasn't decided to retire yet, he is playing less and less games and not looking as good. Tell you who is looking really good though, Brian Nyonye, every single season I'm looking and going, oh my God, he is world class, and come through our youth academy. We are very lucky to have him. And Macaulay Bater is, of course, playing quite a lot in that number 10 again this season. Season 16, though, another massive season for Wakeham, who's bagged nearly 30 goals before the final month. Annoyingly, Spurs knocked us out at the FA Cup semi-final, 2-1. But it isn't the only semi-final we're in, as we also have to face PSG in the Champions League semi-final, and after beating them 2-1 in Paris, we were confident of getting the job done. And we did just that, smashing them 4-0 to send us through to our first Champions League final. Not only that, but we finally got the job done in the Premier League as well, finishing 6 points above Spurs to reclaim the title as Manchester City finished bottom of the league below Chelsea. But the big fixture that could complete our mission isn't going to be easy, as we have to defeat Real Madrid to be crowned champions of Europe again. We're going into this, though, very much on form, and Tyler Wakeham, with 33 goals, has been exceptional this year. 33 goals, but Trevor Scott in behind him, 24 and 19. He has been phenomenal from the right-hand side. We wanted somebody to come in and take that right-hand side for a long time. Trevor Scott is the guy. JJ Gabriel is still there. Age 30, got 21 assists, 17 goals. Really good, of course. Yet again from JJ Gabriel. And there he is, Macaulay Bater. Phenomenal season, 15 goals, 22 assists. Great bit of development. And Teriyaki, Hakan Teriyaki, has played 35 times off the bench, got 8 starts. I think he's really good too. And if we have to go a couple of years longer, if we do not beat Real Madrid, he is obviously somebody that I'm looking at to go, right, okay, can he play in front of JJ Gabriel? Not quite yet. Maybe in a couple of years' time. But for now, great rotational option. Definitely with Ibrahimov, who might be sort of leaving the side. He's played 33 games, but not a very good natural fitness. Say 30. He's 33 years of age. Roque Mabando. What a player he's turned out to be, alongside Nyonye. No wonder why our midfield has been so good with those two in there. Great tackling ability, mental attributes for days, phenomenal talent. But it's the Champions League final now. And if we don't win it, we carry on, we try again next year. But if we do win it, these bunch of legends, and it could be the last game for Kobbie Mainoo, will be wheeling around as European champions, where every single one of these players came through Carrington and Manchester United's Youth Academy. All right, big game against probably the best club in history, Real Madrid, in terms of this competition anyway. And we've got a lot of our star hitters other than, I think our right back was missing. So here we go. Champions League final against Real Madrid. Only one player missing, James Kearney. We've got Schwartz in there anyway, so that's not too bad. We just don't have a lot of strength and depth on the bench. But that's all because all of these youth players that have been coming through, we've sort of like got a generation of duds now. We've only got like the likes of Teriyaki coming through. We haven't got a lot of good players who have sort of reached the squad player depth yet. We still got Aiden Heaven in the first team. He's made it all the way through the video in what, season number 16. But that's good to see. All right, first highlight of the game, and it's a corner, and Bater is taking it. He has actually whipped it in, but nobody is there. Scott down to... Wait, what a weird pass. Right on the edge of the area, and you pass it all the way back to Nyonye. There's Sargent. Oh, it's not a bad effort. If anybody we want it to go to, though, probably not our left-sided, or our left back in this regard. We don't really want it landed at his feet. We much prefer it landing JJ Gabriel's or Trevor Scott's, who have been banging in the goals, and of course Tyler Wakeham as well, but from long range, those are the two we want it to be landing with. Oh, he's just been done there. This is a very good Real Madrid team. I had a look at it. Oh no, Mastantuono. Oh, let it off. There's only like 90% of the team is new gens, obviously, because of how late we are. But Mastantuono and Dro are kind of the only two real players still in this Real Madrid side. Dro, funny enough, come through the Barcelona Youth Academy, if you remember rightly. Mastantuono is a player that they've had for a long time. Schwartz, Nyonye, and Mbambo, who's been very good for me there. Aiden Heaven, pop it in there. That'd be lovely. All right, to Sargent instead. There is, I'd say the MVP of this whole challenge so far is JJ Gabriel. So, what a pass. Wakeham, get in. What a goal. That is 6 goals in the last 11 matches. And Taylor Wakeham finds the back of the net, and Sargent with an unbelievable pass. He dropped into that little hole at first time ball. Defense splitting, the perfect run, and a perfect finish from Taylor. I keep calling him Tyler. Taylor Wakeham. What a goal, son. Love that. 1-0 Manchester United. Right, well, that turned out to be the only real highlight of the half. So we've gone in 1-0 at halftime, which is great. We could have done with a second goal to make it obviously a lot less nerve-wracking coming out, because I always feel like, especially in Football Manager, as soon as you start the second half, anything that happened in the first half, like in real-life football, momentum, etc., just go straight out the window. If you're playing against a good team, 9 times out of 10, it's sort of like 50-50 as to who will start the second half better. So that's why I always like getting a second goal before half-time, but there we go. Trevor Scott's down on the right-hand side. Get it in if you can. Oh, lovely. What a run. Oh, Beta. Oh, it's a great save. Penalty ref? Really? I like this, though. I'm going to use shouts and I'm going to praise them because that was good football down the right-hand side from Scott. Very good stuff from him. Beta's unlucky as well. Nyonyi, the ball player. You can see, look, how high our defence goes. It might have just come off the back of a set piece there. There's Beta again. But Nyonyi was like our last line of defence there, picking up the ball very deep. JJ Gabriel, he's been our magic man. Back to Mambo. And Bambo hits Mabando hits the crossbar. Nyonyi, Mabando, some very difficult names coming out of the Manchester United Youth Academy. Scott again, he looks tiny, doesn't he? But he's doing really well. I've never really updated the numbers. People are going to be so annoyed because, like, Trevor Scott's got, like, 56. Sargent, 47. I can't remember what JJ Gabriel is, 43 from Mabando. I've never updated the numbers. Just not something I'm really that bothered by. Schwartz, I kind of like it when it's, like, high numbers, too. JJ Gabriel's had 95 since season 1, and I just love it. I just feel like it's like Ronaldinho when he was at AC Milan. He had 99. All right, we could really do with another goal, though. Alistair Clark, who's been our goalkeeper for a long time. Maybe I should have given Alistair Clark number 1. That might be one that's slightly triggering for me, even. But, oh, what a run by Mabando. JJ Gabriel's popped it off to Beta. Can he find Wakeham? Mabando's picked it up again. Scott! Trevor Scott potentially starts the man who does the engraving, going, well, I'm going to get the one that says Manchester United out to put on the trophy because it's 2-0 now in the Champions League final. Great play from Manchester United youth players down the right-hand side. Scott was there with 5 yards, and the first-time shot finds the back of the net. 2-0. Come on. We can't be that far away now. Oh, I was just about to make some changes, but I think I'll leave it for now and just see what happens at the end of this highlight. Mabando. All right, Sargent keeps the press on. Look, we haven't really had to change system. Since, like, season 6, we went with that, like, high, aggressive, advanced wingback. We changed that. Oh, Beta. JJ Gabriel's pinched it off of you, my friend, because Beta deserved that. He'll get an assist, but JJ Gabriel gets the eventual goal. But the whole run from Beta there, because he goes past one there, past 2, and then instead of having a shot, JJ Gabriel just gets in his way. But it's 3-0, and that's definitely now game over, surely. So I'm going to make some changes, I don't know, favourable changes. Kobbie Mainoo coming on, his last game of his career. It still looks unbelievable, by the way, at age 36. Ibrahimov, who is getting worse and worse. He's only 33. We have got Teriyaki coming on up front. He's not the best striker, but I think he'll be okay up there for now. And Darkwa, who's going to go on the right-hand side instead of Trevor Scott, who has started coming into the team. It's a shame. He's 21 and been okay. And it's just sort of 2 years too late, really. If he come around 2 years ago, we'd be definitely integrating him into the team. But another 2 seasons, I don't think we're going to need it because we're 3-0 up in the Champions League final. And I think we're going to be lifting the trophy using only Youth Academy prospects from this Manchester United team. It took a lot longer than what I thought. We had a team sort of like season 9-10 where I thought, I could win the Champions League with this. And we didn't even get close. But this was the team that we have done it with. The likes of Trevor Scott, the likes of JJ Gabriel still here. Taylor Wakeham. So many great names that we have that we have had come through the youth academy. Alistair Clark as well in goal. Coming at the perfect time when Dean Henderson retired. But Champions League winners once again. It's Manchester United. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this youth-only save. Let me know if you want to see more just like this. A Youth to Gold will be coming very soon too from myself. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss it. But on screen right now is a video that I did where I decided to put money into Boston. And I decided to give Carlisle perfect youth academy. And it was a race, of course, to see who could get to the Premier League first.